Hi everyone. Recently, a client asked me how they can limit the read view for the comments field in Polarion for specific users and roles. In this case, the user role of an auditor with a reviewer license. And that's the reason why we are starting this tutorial today. So let's take again our Polarion eCar as an example for this tutorial. We imagine we have already written all the requirements, we have tested the requirements, and right now we're done to give this project to our auditor to review this. So usually also with a reviewer license, you have the access to see all the attributes of a work item. So for example, also the description or the comments field. But let's imagine, for example, in your comments field, you have also like internal comments. You don't want the auditor to see this comment. So what you can do is then you can limit the permissions in Polarion via your user management and permissions management. And you can, for example, limit different permissions in Polarion, like the read permission, create new work items, and so on. But in fact, what you can't do in Polarion via this administration tool, you can't limit the read view for comments in Polarion. So therefore, we have to do another step. So what you have to do is you have to create a new user first of all. We call it auditor. Therefore, you go on administration, go on user management and choose users. And you create a new user. Let's call it auditor and save it. So after saving, your user is still disabled in the system. So what you have to do right now is you have to give this new user another global role, not only everyone. So add another role to this user by clicking Edit and choose the right role you want to have into this project. Afterwards, in this case, we have right now added the project user. And finally, we also have to save. After saving, you have enabled a new user, as you can see right now. So that was the first step. Right now, what we have to do in the second step is we have to create a new role in the project, and we call this role Auditor Reviewer. To do so, you go on Project Administration, you go on User Management and Roles, and you create a new role and select New User. So in this case, we are creating the new role Auditor Reviewer, and we are choosing the user auditor, and we save it. Once created a new role, make sure to have also the role Project User from the step before in the project area of your new user. Otherwise, it won't work. That was the second step. So right now, let's have a look on the third step. Right now, we have to create a new view in our project, and we call it Auditor View. So what you have to do is you go on Portal and Views, and you create a new view and choose the limitation of this view and save it. So in this case, it's the Auditor View, and you limit this Auditor View to our Auditor Reviewer. Finally, for the third step, make sure to limit the default view to specific roles, in this case for the project approver. Otherwise, the auditor will also have the default view. The fourth step is right now to create a new form layout in the project. We call it Auditor View. You have to do this for every work item you want to limit the auditor view. So in this case, you go on work items and form configuration. You go on form layouts and create a new form layout. After this, choose the dedicated view of your work item you want to use. So in this case, we are creating the new form layout for our auditor view, and we are choosing the work item system requirement. In case you want to also limit this auditor view, for example, for system test case or software requirements, you have to do this step again and again for every single work item. Afterwards, you have to delete the view to dedicated field IDs. In this case, we're deleting all the fields of comments, of approvals, of linked revisions, hyperlinks, attachments, and widgets. But of course, you can also, for example, only delete the view to, for example, the comments field. This is up to you. Afterwards, don't forget to save. After saving, you will find the new form layout in your overview. As you can see below, you will find the auditor view for system requirements. And as I already said, in case you want to have also an auditor view, a specific auditor view for example, a system test case or software requirements, you have to do the same step. So right now, after doing these 4 steps, right now you can log in as an auditor to Polarion and check your review permissions for this work item system requirement. So what you should see right now is only the information of the work item you haven't deleted in your form layout. So right now we only can see the type, the project, and for example also the description field, but you can't see any, for example, comments field, any attachments, and so on. So far, we're done with this tutorial, but right now I have just one small benefit for you also to use this for your project. Imagine in case you want to have different views in your project. For example, let's imagine in my case, I want to have beside my default view, I want to have also the auditor view in my account just to recheck every time for the work items the different views. So therefore, you go on administration, go on user management, users, and add different roles with different views. In my case, I have added to my account Susan. I have added the project roles, project admin, project approver, and auditor reviewer. So with these different views, I have the possibility when I go on administration and the view, click on the drop-down button, I have the possibility to choose between, for example, the default view or the auditor view. So this is just like one small benefit you could imagine for your project. So, and here we are. That was a short tutorial about how you can limit permissions in Polarion, and specifically in this case for comments fields in Polarion. If you have further questions, please feel free to get in touch with me. Otherwise, happy working.